This is what they don't tell you about being vegan for a decade. I watched a video the other day from Jenny Mustard all about the fact that she's been vegan for 15 years and she wanted to share a video all about the things they don't tell you about being vegan for that long. And I thought, what a great idea. I really want to share this because my vegan 10-year anniversary is coming up this December. I went vegan in December 2014. And a lot has changed and I have learned a lot. If you haven't watched Jenny's video or you're not subscribed to her, please go check it out first because it is incredible. I love her. She's such a great person to follow. She's so inspiring and I just loved this video idea. She also recently came out with a book called OK Days, so I'll leave that linked down below too. I'm so excited to read it and I'm so happy for her that she has written this book, and go check her out and everything she does. She's amazing. Before I get stuck into the questions, I just wanted to give a shout out for the plant-based bundle that I've been running for the past week or so. I think when this video goes live, it's only going to be available for like another day or so. It finishes on the 10th of July. Don't miss out. If you are interested in going vegan or eating more plant-based meals, then it's a really great opportunity to grab all the information that you need. Cookbooks, guides, fitness workouts, courses, you name it, it's in there. It's made up of some incredible creators who are experts in plant-based living and wellness, including my two cookbooks, Versatile Vegan and Plant Kitchen Comforts. Only $50. It would usually be about $4,000 if you were to buy all of these courses and books individually. So it's an incredible deal. Go check it out, don't miss out. It's only available till the 10th of July. I'll leave it linked below. And it's got all the information on the page there so you can dive deep into it. Editing Maddie here, a little spontaneous giveaway I've decided to do. If you have already bought the bundle or if you buy the bundle before it ends, then leave a comment down below and you're going to be entered into winning a Nutribullet and a box of delicious vegan goodies, my favourite things. That's all you have to do. Leave a comment, buy the bundle, tell me what you love about it, and I'll pick a winner when it ends. So good luck. So I asked you guys to ask me anything basically about going vegan on Instagram. So I thought I would do this video in response to some of those and the general topics and things that I've learned since being vegan for this long. Is there anything you miss eating that isn't vegan? This is from Jessica Rose Kemp. I think people focus so much on what you're going to miss out on and what you're going to be removing from your diet when you go vegan that people don't advocate enough for how much you're going to gain. And to be honest with you, anything that I have missed over the last 10 years of being vegan has been fleeting. And it hasn't ever been enough to make me think, you know what, I don't want to be vegan anymore. Because I have such a strong belief system around the morals and ethics when it comes to being vegan, I don't miss anything enough to justify wanting to not be vegan anymore. Yes, of course, previously I used to love eating things like dairy milk and Galaxy and cheese and, you know, even seafood, but I don't sit here thinking about it because there's amazing vegan chocolates, there are incredible vegan cheeses and alternatives. I love to cook and make my own versions of things. So I don't miss anything beyond the point of wanting to actually not be vegan anymore. And I want to advocate for that because I just think that there's so much emphasis about what you're cutting out from your diet. And if that's how you feel, then it probably isn't aligning with your morals and ethics enough to make you want to be vegan, if that makes sense. I feel like that's why I have maintained that feeling, and that's why I don't miss things, because it just fits within my belief system, and I can buy and eat all the things I want to be honest with you. I'm not about a restricted vegan diet. Have you had anything that isn't vegan in the last 10 years? From Michaela Scott 6. Yes, and I think this is really important to emphasize. They don't tell you that when you go vegan, you're going to eat stuff that isn't vegan. And that doesn't mean that you're not vegan. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to crave things, and you're going to give in when you first go vegan. You're going to eat out of restaurants and they're going to serve you food and you're going to be so hungry that you don't even notice that there's some cheese on top or whatever. There are so many scenarios that will mean that you will either eat vegan unintentionally or you'll eat vegan intentionally and then want to go back to being vegan. I'm not talking about myself here even, I'm talking about people I know and I speak with. It's just, I think, an unrealistic expectation to 99.99999% of people that you're gonna go vegan overnight and it's gonna be a seamless transition and you're never gonna look back and you're never gonna eat anything that's not vegan again. And I don't want to be that person online to say that that's going to happen because I think it's a lie. I went vegan 10 years ago and I had an eating disorder at the time. So I went through a phase of transitioning. Definitely went vegan overnight, but over that first couple of years, I don't really remember, maybe first year or so, there were times when I accidentally ate things that weren't vegan, when I didn't question things that had come out to me in restaurants because I didn't want to be a pain. I craved things, maybe if I'd been drinking and I ate stuff that wasn't vegan by accident or because of choice. I've always said this to you. I've always said to you that there's going to be a transition period and you are not going to just go vegan overnight and then that's it forever. And even in recent years, there have been mistakes, there have been incidences at restaurants or eating out or traveling where I definitely have had things that aren't vegan. It happens, it's very frustrating. I remember not even that long ago, I had something at a restaurant that when we were on our honeymoon, we ordered and we thought it was a tomato pasta and it was a sausage pasta. And actually I didn't eat that at all, obviously, because it was sausages, but those things happen and it's inevitable. So don't beat yourself up if you are vegan and you've accidentally eaten something or you've had a day where you fall off the bandwagon. Get back on it if that's your belief system and that's what you want to be doing and you want to be vegan. Don't fall for the vegans who say you have to be 100% vegan. There's no grey area. It's all black and white, because I just think that's hindering the movement. Basil Silva asks, what health benefits did you notice? And I had quite a few questions about health benefits, whether I am worried about missing out on vitamins, what supplements I take, etc. And I want to share a really positive experience of veganism since I've been eating vegan food, because I also think there's a lot of negative press out there about people having health problems when they go vegan, which if that is the case for you, then that's your experience. But I want to speak to my experience. I have been vegan for a decade and I have felt incredibly healthy during that time. The only times that I haven't felt healthy was when I was following restrictive vegan diets, and I don't do that anymore. I would follow clean eating diets, high carb diets, no oil diets, which just didn't make me feel good. And I think instead, since ditching all of diet culture and eating foods that make me feel good, not cutting anything out within my vegan diet, cooking a lot of variety, eating lots of vegetables, enjoying fats and oils, my health has only improved. I've ended up with a situation where lots of my health problems I did have gone away. One of which was severe period pains. I used to have such bad period pains when I was growing up, and almost instantly when I went vegan, they went away. And I always talk about this because I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that that's a surefire example for me anyway of how the diet helped me. I occasionally get period pain now, but it's so mild in comparison. I don't know what that's down to. We will never know, but that's a positive experience for me. I also think my hair, my nails, my skin, all of that has benefited from a vegan diet because I eat so many vegetables. I feel like I'm glowing and I feel really happy about the impact that my diet has on my appearance. I feel like it makes me look younger because I'm 31, but I feel like the vegan diet is doing me some favors. I definitely feel very energized. I don't get very tired. I work out a lot. I do a lot of strength training, a lot of walking, and I feel very energized. And I do think that that's down to my vegan diet as well. Lamalu15, how do you deal with people eating meat right in front of you? It always makes me sad and mad. I think this is something that Jenny Mustard touched on in her video, that it's kind of a weird thing seeing other people still eat meat, because it almost feels a bit like, whoa, people do that, when you see like adverts for meat or you're kind of next to somebody who's eating, like, I don't know, yesterday we were out and someone was, the waitress was serving a stack of ribs and I was like, oh my God, people actually eat that. It is surreal when you live in your own bubble and it is difficult. But honestly, the only way that I deal with it, if I'm being totally honest, is I have to switch myself off from it. I love my family, I love my friends. I don't want to judge them for their lifestyle choices. I don't want to make them feel like I'm looking down on them, because I'm not a better person than them just because I'm vegan. And it is an obscure scenario where you have this hugely strong belief system that you care about so much and you love animals and you want to, shout from the rooftops that they need to be saved and we shouldn't be doing what we're doing to them. But you also have to coexist with people that you love in your life and not judge them and not actually make them feel small for them wanting to do what they want to do. I would never do that, because I don't believe that in my body. I don't look down on people because they eat meat. I just don't. So it is a kind of a weird paradox, and I don't think it's mentioned enough, the difficulty there, that kind of weird contrast where you want to hang out with your friends and be happy for them and ask how their food is and all that kind of stuff, but also deep down you're like, oh, that makes me feel a bit funny. And I've had to have a bit of a switch off from it, I'm numb to it now. because it's been so many years, and I try and just lead by example. And I think a lot of people in my life eat a lot more vegan food because they're around me a lot and they eat a lot more plant-based. And I know they're never going to go vegan, but they eat a lot of vegetarian meals, probably because of my influence. And I think that's a really, really great result. So yeah, I do find it difficult, don't get me wrong, but you have to reach a point where you realize that this is how you live your life, but it's not how other people are going to live theirs, and that's okay. And you can apply that to lots of things too. How do you find it staying vegan going abroad? This is from Kat Wilkes, and there was a few questions about traveling. I think that that's probably the more tricky side of being vegan. Traveling can be tricky sometimes, and in specific countries, it can mean that your food experience is limited. Some places you go, it's amazing, like Amsterdam or Berlin, or even places in Italy, like that can be really good because you've got all the pastas and the pizzas. UK is a great place to eat vegan, but then there are other places like France. I'm trying to think, where have I been recently? Yeah, when we went to France on our honeymoon, it was a little bit tricky. Thailand was incredible, and Southeast Asia was honestly incredible for vegan food. We had the best food of our lives there. So it does depend where you go. So my advice would be to try and pick places that are gonna be vegan friendly. And if they're not, then just expect that you're going to be eating more simple foods, things like tomato pastas, salads, chips, and it's maybe that trip is more about where you're visiting over the food. I would also say that don't stress yourself out so much that it ruins your traveling experience. If you get served something after saying to somebody that you want it to be vegan and it's not, don't work yourself up about it. Don't go hungry. You know, I have reached the point after nearly a decade that I'm not going to worry if there's some cheese on top of my pasta. I'm just going to move it aside, and maybe that's going to get me cancelled, but I just don't see the point in food waste where you're going to return this bowl of pasta just because it's got a little bit of grated cheese on top or something. I don't even know if that's happened to me, actually. I'm trying to think about if that's even happened. Yeah, that has happened where I've definitely had things on top and I'm like, is that vegan? But in terms of like my ethics and like all the things I truly believe in, am I going to be returning that food to be thrown in the bin when I could just move it to the side? I don't know, or give it to someone. Like the other day, I had a Sunday roast and it came with the Yorkshire pudding, and I just gave my Yorkshire pudding to my dad. I don't want to kind of give this idea that you have to be worrying or stressing about traveling as a vegan. Do your research. Make sure you're packing some protein bars and some cereal bars. That always saves the day. Try and stay somewhere that you have self-catered accommodation, so you can cook your own breakfasts, or you can, you know, make your own lunches to take out with you. And do your research on restaurants that are going to be catering to vegans. So different cuisines, maybe Italian or Greek or Asian cuisines that are going to be easier to eat vegan at. Why are some vegans so hateful towards vegetarians? Been veggie for 15 plus years, harassed by vegans a lot. Sally LeChat. I really don't like the mentality within the vegan community about all or nothingness or black and white thinking. And I've mentioned it already in this video. And I don't think people talk about how much you're going to be judged by other vegans, other vegetarians, other non-vegans if you take a political moral stance on the way you eat. The amount of judgment that you're going to get from not even people in your real life. To be honest with you, I don't get judgment from people in my real life because they don't really care. They've asked me some questions, but at the end of the day, whatever, they love me. I get so much judgment online for my lifestyle choices, whether that's meat eaters questioning why I'm vegan and saying it's going to kill me or it's not healthy for me, or vegans, to be honest with you, saying that I'm not vegan. I don't understand this mentality because I just think it hinders everything, and I think that that's something that needs to be improved on as a community. And I want to stand here as someone who's got quite a large following of people who hopefully are going to watch this video and engage with my vegan content, that you don't need to think in black and white terms. If you choose to be vegan 100%, great, that's wonderful. But if you choose to be vegan 50%, 75%, 90%, I am so here for it, because to me, that's less animals dying. To me, that's an improvement in terms of your own personal food footprint on the earth. If you're reducing your meat consumption and you're reducing your dairy consumption, I think that's a win, and I think it's a step forwards in the right direction. I think if we focus too much on telling people that they have to be 100% vegan and judging vegetarians because they're not vegan, you're just going to be making vegans come out like a cult, to be honest with you. We are not in a cult. We are here to try and open our arms to everybody and allow everyone in and make them, I don't know, make a choice where they're thinking about where their food comes from. And to be honest with you, that's good enough for me. I know that being vegan is not for everybody, and I've experienced enough life. I'm 31 years old that I know it's not going to be for everybody. And it's almost a fake and a up in the sky idea that everyone one day is going to go vegan. I'm not a vegan who believes that's going to happen. It's not. Maybe that is a controversial thing to say, I don't know. I don't think that we're ever going to reach a point where everybody is vegan. I just don't. I think we're going to reach a point where loads of people eat a lot of vegan food and they eat a plant-based diet. And I actually see that in the future. I think future probably looks like people are going to be eating majority plant-based foods. And that is good enough for me, to be honest with you, because that is an improvement on what's going on right now. So the less we focus on judging others for their choices, the better. I think that if you have a friend who's vegetarian, I mean, that's incredible. Like, you are reducing your food footprint by huge amounts. You're not killing animals compared to if you're eating meat. So I don't know, it's a win for me. And I just think it's a positive move in the right direction. And I will still stand here and explain why I'm vegan and talk about the importance of being vegan and vegan food. And hopefully that brings in more people. But yeah, the judgment needs to end, and we need to be inclusive and not exclusive, because we're not even accounting for the amount of people who can't be vegan because of health problems, because of culture differences, because of monetary reasons and their economy and where they're living. I could sit here and explain hundreds of reasons why people come to me and say they can't be vegan, and that's not for me to judge. So the more people who are trying and eating more plant-based foods, the better. Island Girl says, are you constantly hungry? High carb versus low carb. How to combat gas after too much tofu? I am not hungry on a vegan diet if I am being considerate of what I'm eating. You have to make sure you're eating protein and having a balanced diet. Don't fall for restrictive vegan diets, because that's gonna end up in a disaster. Make sure you're having a well-rounded plate of food. You're having higher quantities in some cases, because some vegan foods are lower in calories, and just educate yourself. It might be worthwhile a period of time where you're just kind of learning about foods, how much calories are in certain foods, how much protein is in certain foods, and adjusting that according to your own personal height, weight, activity levels, etc. Don't just go into it blindly, because that will end up probably in some element of discomfort or feeling hungry or not getting it quite right. Do your research and understand it. And I want to emphasize that too, that being vegan, you have to be educated and aware, and not just do it blindly following someone online. Do your own research and learn about it. So it's going to be successful and it's going to make you feel good, because I don't have that issue anymore, because I know how much protein I need, how much food I need on a day-to-day basis. And the last question is a nice positive one from Emily Preston. What has been the most positive change being vegan has brought to your life? For me, I love living a life where I feel like my belief system is in line with how I'm doing things, and eating food, breakfast, lunch and dinner is such a direct way to express that belief system and those morals and those ethics. When I first went vegan, I was going vegan because I had an eating disorder and it was another diet for me to lose weight. But shortly after, I learned a lot about, well, I say shortly after, I think pretty much the day I went vegan, I watched Earthlings and I watched Forks Over Knives, I watched Cowspiracy, and I started to learn more about veganism and why the animal agriculture industry is so damaging to the earth and to people. And I didn't want to be a part of that anymore. I personally chose to change my diet because I just couldn't justify killing animals for something tasty on my plate, and I still can't. And ultimately that's quite a nice experience if I'm every single day feeling like I'm not having that impact and I'm not hurting anyone, and I can reduce that, then that makes me feel really good. And I love not having, I just love not having animal products in my home, to be honest with you. I love not cooking with meat. I love not having to touch it. I love not having to experience it, not have to think about it, not to have this cognitive dissonance, almost where I'm like having to switch off from it. All of that is just such a positive life experience for me. And it extends to other things whereby I'm being considerate and taking care of everything in my life. So I'm thinking about all of my purchases, whether that's clothing, whether that's secondhand stuff, what I'm bringing into my home. I'm just being considerate all round, and I think that's just such a positive change for my lifestyle, and hopefully will continue for a really long time afterwards. And I want to end on that one because I just think it's a nice advocation for, if you go vegan, it doesn't end there. It can extend to other areas of your life where you start to think more positively about how you can change things to match your morals or your ethics and live in a way that really feels positive for you and really feels like a nice experience and you're kind of going through life thinking, okay, this makes sense for me. I want to encourage that in all of you to sort of think about things, question them, and live your life in a way that works for you. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And if you are looking to go vegan or plant-based, then definitely check out the plant-based bundle that I'm collaborating on with loads of incredible creators. It finishes on July the 10th, so you've not got long to grab it. It will be gone forever and you'll never be able to get all of these courses, books, guides in one place. Again, it's only $50 when usually all of these individual guides, books, courses would be $4,000 or close to $4,000. So it's a discount of 99%. And the reason we're doing it is because all of us as creators are seriously passionate about plant-based and vegan living, and we want to share the love with everybody. We want to collaborate and cross over our audiences so that they can all get the information they need, and so more people can understand what it is to live plant-based and incorporate that into their lifestyle. So if that's something you've been interested in for a long time, I'll leave a link down below. Go check it out and don't miss out on it because it's a really great opportunity. It's got both of my vegan cookbooks in there and 150 other creators, and I think it's over 120 courses, guides, books. It's just wild, the stuff in there. It's amazing. I've been scrolling through it and just drooling over the recipes, and I'm going to try some of the workouts, and I'm very excited. So yeah, go check it out and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I can make more in the future. And make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Oh, itch. Of course the battery's dying. Of course. I haven't done a video like this in so long, Alex. Forgive me.